Hi and welcome to the video. I'm Anna and I'm 22 years old, and in this video I want to talk about my experience working and living on a horse ranch in Canada. I have my cup of tea here. This is going to be more of a chit-chatty video with some of the clips that I took while I was staying at the ranch. I wanted to make this video mostly for myself and to have this captured as a memory, but I also want to try to make this useful for other people, so I split the video in 4 chapters. Chapter 1 is going to be my why did I want to do this in the first place, how did I get to this idea, what were my thoughts, so you can understand a bit better. And then chapter 2 is my pros and cons of workaway. This part is probably going to be a bit shorter. I might make a whole video on this if you're interested, but yeah, just want to do like a disclaimer that there's not only positive things, but my experience was really positive, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in chapter 3, how it was to live on the ranch. And then in chapter 4 I want to encourage you out there to do the same thing. Not work on a horse ranch in Canada, but just go out, use workaway, go travel, and follow your dreams, follow whatever you want to do. So we'll just get right into it. First, I wanted to say that I did all of this with Workaway. That is an app where you can find places that need people to work there, and then you can text them and see if it's the right fit all over the world, and then you get accommodation and food. I will just start with chapter 1. Why did I want to go to Canada, and why something with horses? And for me, it's mostly my dad, who always talked about Canada when I was younger. And I watched so many documentaries about Canada and ranch life, and I was so fascinated by it. I know my favorite documentary was this biologist that was able to become a cowboy and ride horses to track wildlife, and that was always my dream job. And I admired him so much. And horses have always been part of my life. I've had riding classes at times, and was just always happy spending time around horses and didn't have to be riding. So that was something I knew I wanted to do as well. And then after I was finished with school, I was 19, and I found out about Workaway, and I was like, wow, this is the best thing ever. And then I did one Workaway in Italy and one in Germany, and then went to Canada in February, the year after I finished school, but more to that later. Now we'll be in chapter 2, pros and cons of Workaway. I know that there are some people that really complain about the app, because if you're unhappy with the Workaway you're at, it's really difficult, or from what I've heard, really difficult to contact Workaway or critique people on the website. So that would be a con. And I would say as well, really be careful. Communicate what you want and what your needs are, and how much work you're willing to do. Set boundaries. That's really important. The con is that you're going to a place you've never been, meeting someone you've never met before, and you have to adjust to their lifestyle because they're inviting you in your home. And that can be a con, because it can be difficult, to adjust to someone else's life. But it can also be a pro, because you get to learn something new and get to know a new person, maybe even, a lot of people. So yeah, just think about what you would fit into, maybe what skills you have, what gifts you have that you can share, and yeah, just consider where you want to go and what you want to do, and make sure that where you're going is actually something that suits you and you like. It's always helpful, to communicate with the person that you're going to be staying with online before. So have a video call, chat with them extensively. Yeah, just be cautious, especially like as a woman traveling alone, and make sure the place that you want to go to has good reviews. And then my pros of workaway, there's so many. You get to know new people, places, cultures, skills. Like if you have things that you want to learn, you can put the specific words into workaway and look up people that align with what you want to learn, or that can teach you what you want to learn. Yeah, so that's what I did. I put in horses, natural horsemanship, and I just found the perfect place for me. And it doesn't always work out on the first try. I've made friends that were at some workaways where it just did not work out, and the people didn't get along, and the expectations were different, and that's completely okay. You just need to be able to communicate your needs and your boundaries, and then see if it's a good fit or not. All right. Chapter 3 is my experience, and I wrote down some questions here, so I have an orientation. My first question is, how did the days look like? And I'm just gonna take like a usual day in spring or summer, because in the winter there's way less work to do on a ranch. So usually we would wake up around 7, have breakfast, and then we would all come together. Like where I stayed, we were around 5 workawayers at a time that took care of the horses. There were around 45 horses, including minis. So we would feed at 8 all the horses. That would take some time. Then we would pick up the horse poop for depends, around 1 to 2 hours. There are a lot of horses, so a lot to be done. In the summer they're out on the field, so it's getting less. But yeah, that's one part that always needs to be done. And then afterwards there's always ranch work, things that need fixing or cleaning or tidying up, or like the weeds need to be pulled, the arena needs to be harrowed. Like there's always something to do on a ranch. And yeah, those were most of the time more practical things. And then we had lunch around 12. In the afternoon was our free time, and usually we would spend the free time working with the horses, doing groundwork, riding out, exploring the landscapes. Just so beautiful. I stayed near Vancouver in Kamloops, and the landscape there is really amazing. It's more hills than mountains, but you can look so far and there's just nothing, and it's so breathtaking. So the afternoons were spent just enjoying the free time, working with horses, learning more about natural horsemanship. That's my next point. Natural horsemanship was the skill that I want to learn more about, and it really worked out perfectly. I learned a lot about how to handle horses and how to ride in the more like a natural horsemanship way, and to communicate more with the horse. And so on one hand I learned from the people at the ranch and the owners. On the other hand, I also learned from the horses themselves, just working in the round pen, being with the horses, I learned so much, and I could take away so much just being with those animals, and they would show me exactly how I was feeling inside. Like if I was insecure, they were also not trusting me, and if I had the trust in myself, they were trusting me. And I really learned a lot. I could do a whole different video on why I love the round pen so much, or groundwork so much with horses. I have a love for it, I have a passion for it, and it developed when I was there. So that worked out really well. I have some workaways saved that I want to do that are about ceramics, because that's another skill that I want to learn. And just, imagine you are working for them, you're getting accommodation, you're getting food, but what else, do you want to learn? Do you want to learn farming? Do you want to learn like natural house building? Do you want to learn ceramics, writing, just arts and craft, anything? Like, you will find people that are like-minded on workaway, or that can teach you in the areas that you want to learn, and it's such a nice exchange. I wrote down as the next point, it was like a second home to me, and it still feels like a second home to me just because of the people and all the animals, and I have so much love for them. Like, I got a tattoo I don't know if you can see it, for my favorite horse and cat there, and I love them so dearly. I think about them almost every day. I have pictures here, the horse, and it feels like a second home, and I miss them, but I know I will see them again. And I'm so happy that when I'm there, I'm able to experience that kind of slow life outside in nature, just surrounded by animals. My last point for this chapter is that people matter the most, at least for me, especially if you're surrounded by people. Like at this workaway, we were around 4 to 5 workawayers, as well as the family, and then sometimes guests. And I got to know so many great people, friends that I never imagined, like from different parts of the world. And it's such an amazing thing. And I know you can travel alone, and it's also important to travel alone and be by yourself and be happy being by yourself. But for me, one of the great parts of traveling alone is also meeting other people. And via workaway, you will do that, and you can learn so much from other cultures, not just like the Canadian culture, but also other workaways from all over the world can share their experiences, and you can have such an open exchange, and you get to know people so deeply because you live together right away. That can be also a challenge, I'm not gonna lie, but if you're open to meeting people and just living life with other people together, workaway is such a great way to do that, as well as getting to know people that are like-minded, because you're staying at the same place, and there are obviously reasons for that, and that's always a great way to connect to people. Like if you go to a place and you're scared that you're maybe have a hard time making friends, look out for a workaway. Find a workaway. I know like some people met at this workaway and then continued traveling together afterwards in Canada, and it's really great. I can only suggest doing workaways. For me, it was an amazing experience, and I'm going back this year. I'm addicted. I'm just in love. And then we'll just get to chapter 4 already. I will only in this video touch parts of it. Like if you want more, if you want to hear more about my workaway experience, or more specific things, like more about my day-to-day life, or more about pros and cons, or my suggestions what to do before you go, I can make videos on that. This is just like a broad, like for me, my experience. And then in chapter 4 is that I want to encourage you to follow your dreams and go where you want to go. Yeah, I went traveling after I finished school. Now I'm at university, and I went last year in my university break for 3 months, and I'm going for 1.5 months because I have a job. And that's the only time I will be traveling this year. But it's really important for me to go back and see the people, see the animals again. So that's why I put all my focus there. But there's always time to travel, and it's also, especially with the money, so much easier if you know you only have to pay costs for traveling, and then once you're there you don't have to pay food, you don't have to pay accommodation anymore. That's such a big relief as well, another pro. But yeah, this video is me encouraging you to do the same thing. Follow your dreams, go where you want to go. Doesn't have to be Canada, doesn't have to be a ranch, anywhere. But if there's a place where you're like, oh, I would love to go there, but I'm too scared, try Workaway. Try finding a place that you feel called to, that maybe has things that you're interested in, and go. Like, I want you to go. Go! It's so much fun. You won't regret it. And if the first place you go to is not the right one, don't give up. Because there can be places, you know, that are challenging, or they're just not the right suit for you. Maybe other people liked it and you just don't get along. It's fine. You will find a place. And it's an amazing way to travel. Like, I should be a promoter for them because I love my experiences so much. Yeah, for my own memory, I wanted to talk about some of my greatest memories that I made. Yeah, my favorite horse arrived when I was there for the first time in spring, and I just fell in love with her. I feel so connected to this horse. I don't even know how to describe it, and anyone that has like an animal at home probably knows what I mean. But she has been my greatest teacher there and in life, I think. Yeah, horses are so honest, and that's something that I learned there. They're like a mirror, but they also have their own moods and energies and are their own beings. But it's so refreshing because they're so honest. Like, I love it so much. And then there's also a cat that I fell in love with. Everyone who knows me and is watching this, you're like, yeah, she's been talking about him for ages now. Yeah, I love this cat. He and I were sharing a bed when I'm staying at the ranch, or the last 2 times we did. And he's like the most cuddly boy ever. And then during the day he's out hunting for mice and sleeping, but just connecting to animals. There's just, I love it so much. I miss him. He's my screensaver on my phone every morning. I'm like, yeah, because I can't have animals here. I'm living in a really small apartment, and so all my animal time is when I am coming home to my parents and I see my dog at home, or when I have riding lessons here, or then when I go to Canada. I just get the full doses of just being around horses, dogs, cats, chickens, doesn't matter. Be around animals all day, and that's just the greatest part, as well as the people. Can't stress this enough. So, and also, because maybe that's a little side thing, I was really scared before going to Canada. Or the first workaway that I did was in Italy, and I was scared. I feel like I'm a shy person. I'm introverted. I need time alone. So being around so many people, I was doubting myself. I was like, can I do this? Like, is this something that I'm capable of? And I was. And it was challenging at times, I'm not gonna lie, but I learned so much from it. And I think it really changed me and made me like a stronger person. That always sounds weird, but because I went to this whole new country alone, and that I've never been before, or never been before alone, and I still felt like myself. I still felt like I belonged to myself, and it's such a great thing to experience because I learned that I'm not just my environment, but I'm a really independent person and an independent self, and that was such a nice thing to notice and to learn about myself, if that makes sense. So even if you have doubts, even if you think, oh my god, this is so challenging that I could never do it, go for it. Try it. Will be hard at times. Growth isn't always easy. Challenges aren't always easy, and they're not meant to be. But it will change you in the best way possible. And I'm so sure of it. And I believe in you. You're way more capable than you think, and this is what I needed to hear before I went, and so I just want to tell whoever is watching, you can do it. I believe in you, and yeah, go download Workaway or wherever, like World Packers. I haven't done anything with them, but so many sites that you could go on, or just text like ranches directly. It doesn't really matter, whatever you feel comfortable with. And yeah, if you want me to make more videos about this topic, I love to. So if you have more specific questions, leave them in the comments. And yeah, hope you have an amazing day and you feel inspired to just go out in the world and travel. And I hope I will see you soon. Bye!